There's this moment right as the sun starts declining after a long night.
Mm.
Everything just seems clearer somehow, like the darkness leaving makes space for a deeper kind of seeing.
Yes. There's a truth in that image, like a lotus flower opening up from the deep water. The experiences of a life, they can bring this profound insight, this knowing. Words sometimes don't quite reach it.
It makes me think of a story I heard once, a younger person asking an elder, how they found such peace. And the elder talked about a lake, how it was stirred up, murky, but over time with stillness,
Mm.
it just became clear, a perfect mirror, not forced,
Yeah.
just settled.
It did. And that really speaks to how different that is from both so much of what we see around us, doesn't it? There's this constant push for more motion, for holding on to youth forever.
Oh, absolutely. It's everywhere. This
Yeah.
idea that you have to fight aging, that it's something to resist.
But there is another way. Perhaps not seeing it as getting less, but as ripening. Coming into a kind of fullness. Some wisdom traditions point to this.
A real shift in how you look at it. Instead of, focusing on what seems lost, could we see it as just a natural unfolding, a deepening of understanding that comes with time? And that brings to mind the Buddhist idea of anicca, impermanence.
Yes. What becomes so clear when you watch life is that nothing stays the same. Our bodies, our thoughts, even our relationships, they're always changing. And really accepting that, the impermanence of it all, that can be, well, incredibly freeing.
It makes sense, doesn't it? If you're not holding on so tight to how things were, how you wish they'd stay, then the changes, including aging, they become less of a fight, more something you could just watch with some calm. It's almost like life is whispering, let go, find peace this way.
Think about that lotus again. Its roots are down in the mud, right? In what looks like difficulty. But it blooms beautifully from that. In the same way, the struggles, the sorrows, they can actually be fertile ground. Especially as we age, they can lead to this quiet resilience, this grace.
That's a really beautiful way to put it. It makes you wonder, if we could let go of the fear around getting older, how would that change things now? And what if we started, preparing inwardly, not just practically, but emotionally, spiritually, for what time brings?
Which leads to a gentle question, perhaps.
Mm.
How might just being present, paying attention to this moment, how might that help navigate it all?
Okay, yeah, let's talk about that. Mindfulness.
Oh,
It's about being fully here, noticing thoughts, feelings, without judging them instantly, right?
exactly. And as we get older, this skill, this awareness of the present, it's such a powerful anchor. It lets us meet the changes, physical or emotional, with more balance. What felt like loss can become maybe an opening for discovery.
It's like that sunrise image again. Mindfulness isn't just seeing the dawn, it's feeling the warmth on your skin too, being in it. It shifts you from fighting what is to just being with it, with curiosity.
And this awareness, it connects deeply with another idea, non-attachment, viraga. Now, it's important to be clear. This isn't about rejecting life or stopping caring.
No, definitely not indifference. It feels more like letting go of needing to control how things turn out, that tight grip on how it has to be.
Think of a leaf floating down a river. It just goes with the flow, no resistance, there's a naturalness to it. Non-attachment helps us move through life a bit more like that, accepting the way things unfold.
And that feels so relevant to aging because some things are just outside our control. Our bodies change, the world changes, we experience loss. It reminds me of the story of Kisa Gotami.
Ah, yes. That story shows so clearly how loss is universal. She thought her pain was unique, but her journey showed her everyone experiences it. And finding peace often comes from accepting that shared reality, especially navigating the losses that can come with age.
It's interesting, how modern psychology is sort of catching up to this. Lots of research on acceptance, resilience, adaptability, how crucial they are for well-being as we age. And mindfulness-based approaches are really being recognized.
So how might one start cultivating this gentle acceptance, this letting go? What are some small ways?
Well, just noticing what we cling to, maybe through journaling or just reflecting. What am I resisting? And then there's gratitude, purposefully focusing on what is here, not what's gone.
And what often comes through when you do that is this deeper appreciation for just simplicity, being. It echoes people like Thich Nhat Hanh, who spoke so beautifully about the freedom in letting go. His own life, with its hardships and its deep peace, really shows that.
Absolutely. And as we age, roles change too, don't they? Retirement, maybe kids leaving home. If your identity is really tied up in those external things, that's a huge shift. Non-attachment seems like a way to navigate that by connecting to something deeper inside.
Exactly. Recognizing that your worth, your essence, it isn't just about what you do or the roles you play. Aging can actually offer the space, the quiet, to rediscover that authentic self underneath it all.
So this whole process, aging,
Mhm.
it's not necessarily just things fading away. It could be a chance for real interchange.
Indeed. Think of it like inner alchemy. Taking all the experiences, good and bad, and transforming them, turning them into wisdom, into understanding through mindfulness and these kinds of principles.
Reminds me of that samurai who was searching so hard for enlightenment, all the intense practices. But it was a simple advice from an old monk. When you eat, just eat. When you walk, just walk. When you grow old, simply grow old. That was the key.
Yes. What finally clicked for him was the depth in just being in the moment, fully, without striving. Even growing old, with all its changes, became a path to insight when he just met it with presence.
So mindfulness acts like both a shield and a compass as we age, protecting from regret and fear, but also guiding toward clarity, connection.
And how might you cultivate that presence in the flow of your own days?
Well, even just a few minutes, right? Focusing on the breath, it starts to build that stillness. And the science is fascinating now, too, how it strengthens brain areas for attention, emotional balance, empathy, things that are really helpful as we get older.
And then there's bringing that same awareness into everyday things, the things we usually do on autopilot.
You're right, like really tasting your food or feeling your feet on the ground when you walk, truly listening when someone talks.
Exactly. And then there's right effort. Consciously choosing to, nurture the good stuff, kindness, compassion, and gently letting go of habits that cause pain, like dwelling on the past or excessive worry. It's about directing your energy wisely.
Which connects right into metta, loving kindness, sending out that warmth, that goodwill to yourself and others, repeating those phrases, may I be well.
What happens inside us when we practice that? It's quite profound often. It softens things, dissolves barriers we put up, creates this feeling of connection, which is so vital, especially if loneliness creeps in later in life.
And speaking of connection, nurturing relationships with care seems even more important as we age, doesn't it? That support network.
It really highlights that we're not isolated islands. Our well-being is tangled up with others.
And there's also something about embracing simplicity, finding contentment with less. Not denying comfort, but seeing richness isn't just about stuff.
It connects to that Japanese idea, wabi-sabi. Finding beauty in things that are imperfect, that show their age, their history, maybe seeing the lines on our own faces not as flaws, but as part of our unique story.
That's a lovely way to reframe it.
Yeah.
And it's key to remember mindfulness isn't passive, is it? It's not about checking out.
Quite the opposite, really. It helps us act more purposefully, guided by wisdom, by compassion. When we're present, our actions are more likely to align with what truly matters to us and maybe help others too.
And a simple way to encourage that is setting an intention each morning, thinking about how you want to be in the world that day.
Yes. And ultimately, it all comes back to acceptance. Just acknowledging what's real without fighting it, letting go of the shoulds and musts.
So this later part of life, maybe it's not a fading out, maybe it's more like stepping into a different kind of light.
Think of the sun at its peak, its zenith, and then its descent, which paints the sky with the most incredible colors. This time of life can be when everything we've learned really comes together, crystallizes.
And for practical ways to navigate this, you mentioned 3 keys to inner peace: presence, purpose, and perspective. Let's touch on those. Presence first. It's so easy to get lost in past or future thoughts.
What becomes really precious is savoring each moment. Like in the Japanese tea ceremony, Shono-yu, there's that phrase, Ichigo Ichi, one time, one meeting. It highlights how unique, how unrepeatable every single moment, every encounter truly is.
It's a powerful reminder to just be there for the small things, isn't it? A quiet morning, a chat with someone. Those often hold the most meaning.
And purpose, as external roles maybe shift, finding purpose becomes more of an inner thing, not just about achievements.
Right, it's less about outside validation and more about nurturing something inside, like Dharma, you said, our own path, like Gandhi later in life.
Exactly. Finding meaning that resonates deeply, whether it's volunteering, sharing wisdom, creativity, whatever feels like a genuine contribution.
And the third key, perspective. Choosing gratitude, seeing abundance instead of scarcity. You mentioned Katanu, acknowledging kindness received.
Yes, recognizing all the ways we've been supported, the beauty still around us, that image of the ocean wave, each one different, but part of the vast ocean, reminds us of the richness of it all. Even just noting down things you're grateful for each day can really shift your view.
It's amazing how focusing on the good changes your whole outlook. And you also talk about this sort of unexpected freedom in old age, less pressure.
Yes, there can be this release from from the striving, the societal expectations of earlier years. And in that freedom, there's space to explore things maybe you couldn't before, be more yourself. Like those cherry blossoms, beautiful, fleeting, reminding us to appreciate the now.
So it can actually be a time of expansion, not just shrinking. And you finish with that beautiful image life as a play and old age as the director's role.
Stepping back a bit, appreciating the whole story, the connections, the love, the lessons, and taking a bow, really, with gratitude.
So the invitation then for everyone listening is, how will you direct these next acts? Will it be guided by fear? Or will you embrace the potential, the radiance that's right here? Because the tools, as we've explored, they're already within you.
May you walk gently, with awareness, towards that luminous horizon of mindful aging.
Because in that quiet twilight of life, that's often when the soul's true brilliance shines the brightest.